don't think we realize exactly how quiet our body language can be in order to get our horses to listen. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It is another week already, so it is time for a new training tip video. In this video, I'm going to be briefly talking about energy and how much our energy affects our horses. So with that being said, let's get into today's video. I know a lot of you probably already have an idea of how our energy affects our horses, but if nothing else, I'm hoping that this video will be a good reminder for you to be more aware of your energy and to pay closer attention to your horse's energy as well. Basically, how we are feeling projects into our horses, and I'm sure you probably heard it 1,000 times that our emotions carry over into our horses. That could not be more true. So many times I've gone out to have a session training one of my horses and I'm in a bad mood and I go out hoping that it's gonna make me feel better, but in reality my frustration and my anger and tension and all of that just ends up carrying over into whatever horse I'm working with, and the session is a flop. So that is one very clear way that we know that our energy can transfer to our horses. But I think there's a lot of other times that we're not really aware of what kind of energy we're projecting and what our body language is telling our horses. A lot of times as humans, we tend to be extra. We tend to be loud, over the top, everything's always busy, everything is colorful and chaotic, and we just like to move, we like to go, we are loud. Our nature as humans is we are just loud, and so horses are the complete opposite. So if you watch horses in a herd, you will see that the way they communicate with each other is very subtle and quiet, and that is what we need to learn to do as horse people, as horsemen and horsewomen who are trying to communicate better with our horses. We need to learn to quiet our language so that we can communicate better with our horses. Imagine that you go into a room with someone and you are expecting to have a really nice conversation and that person just starts screaming at you. How are you going to react? You're going to get flustered and frustrated and get all irritated right back because why are they yelling at you? You don't understand. And that is what we unintentionally do with our horses all the time. I don't think we realize exactly how quiet our body language can be in order to get our horses to listen. And half the time, or 3/4 of the time, all the time maybe, when you go into a round pen or into the arena to work with your horse, you are unintentionally screaming at them with using so much noise and body language and extra things that are not necessary when it comes to communicating with your horse. The first time I was introduced to this exercise would have been 2.5 years ago. It was before I had Flicka. It was the first time I was ever introduced to any kind of natural horsemanship or groundwork or anything like that. And my instructor, who I was working with, I just had one lesson with. I had gone up to Minnesota for a couple weeks to do some intensive riding, and one of my instructors took me out into the arena and she said, okay, get your horse to back up, but I don't want you to use voice cues, I don't want you to use the whip, I don't want you to use your hands, I want you to try to use your energy. And at first I was like, what are you talking about? How is that supposed to work? But she wanted me to just imagine myself pushing forward, projecting energy forward, and to see if I could get my horse to back up. Now, it didn't work, and so I had to use some subtle cues. But the idea is that your horse actually can move off of that invisible energy. Just moving forward, projecting yourself into a space, into their space. And I know it sounds weird, but if you go out and try this exercise, I bet you it's going to give you a really good idea of how well your communication is with your horse. And you can just use that same exercise and just gradually work and work at it until you get to the point where you don't have to use any kinds of loud cues. You don't have to use a lot of vocal cues and tapping with the whip and walking forwards to them. I know for a fact that you can get your horse to back up just by leaning over into their space. And yes, it takes a lot of work, but if you can learn to refine your cues and quiet your energy, I think you will realize that you and your horse are going to have a much stronger bond in the end, even though it may take more work in the beginning. So I hope that gives you a little bit of either a reminder or maybe some new information to process. You have an exercise, a little bit of homework to go out and try, and I am going to do the same thing with my horses. And let's see how that goes and just practice it for a week even. And I guarantee you that if you can learn to quiet down your body language and project your energy positively and quietly, you are going to see a lot of changes with your horse. So thank you so much for watching. Comment below if you can think of other examples of when you have seen that your energy played a part into how your horse is acting. Make sure to subscribe if you want to keep up with all the training tip videos I am putting out and all of the other videos I'm making as well. And we'll see you guys next week.